Hi everyone, this is Francisco and my computer is acting so weird and it doesn't want to allow me to record for some weird reason, but I have notes that I wrote down. Some notes, but I already covered this other notes. Now I just want to cover this other point. And I wrote down animals and insects and other planets and the infestation of them. So for instance, people want to go and colonize other planets. And some planets have been discovered. Other Earth-like planets, and they're like super far away. They're super far away. They're not close to planet Earth. But I was thinking that if we were to one day go to a planet similar to planet Earth, it would be infested with all sorts of animals and insects. So upon landing on a spaceship or a rocket, it would be covered, the spaceship or the rocket would be covered with all sorts of insects, flying insects, creepy crawlies, and a bunch of other things, and eventually they will most likely work their way in, and if they're not able to, they will eventually nest all over the rocket or spaceship, and eventually the windows and everything will be polluted with insect poop and spider webs and bird poop and a bunch of other things. And if you people were to step out of the spaceship or rocket, most likely you people would be killed almost instantly. Because if you guys really think about all the animals here on planet Earth, there's a bunch. There's tigers and leopards and wolves and sharks and dolphins and sea lions and ticks and mosquitoes and flies and poisonous frogs and other types of frogs. There's bees, there's wasps, and And then who knows what's on top of the food chain out there in this other planet. So whatever it is, there's gorillas and all kinds of stuff. So if we were to ever go to a planet, I think our best chances of survival would be in an area where it's super cold, like Antarctica, because we have nuclear fusion and a bunch of other state-of-the-art technology that could potentially keep us alive out there without putting people at risk and in danger. But I've been watching these National Geographic Channel documentaries, and even polar bears, they would be all over the place. Maybe every 10 miles or so there would be a polar bear. And these are not going to be friendly little animals. They're going to be wild animals. And just like here on planet Earth. On planet Earth, there's weapons. There's a bunch of people, and a bunch of people go and hunt these animals. So animals here on Earth are very scarce. They're very there's only a little bit, and a lot of them are nearing the brink, or what is it? What's the word? The brink of extinction. The something. But anyway, so they're very limited. That people have to protect them. Okay, so people have to protect these animals in order to keep them from going extinct, and to allow them to breed and to do their own thing. So a lot of people think that they're just going to arrive in a different planet, and it's going to be like here on planet Earth. But we're talking about freaking tarantulas, snakes, a bunch of poisonous reptiles as well. There's a bunch of rattlesnakes and a bunch of other poisonous snakes here on planet Earth, but over there's going to be a lot more, and most likely they will attack anything that gets near their living quarters, their area, and crocodiles as well. Crocodiles will be there will just be an infestation of them. They'll most likely be eating each other. They're cannibals. So good luck trying to colonize planets similar to planet Earth out there in the universe. Um, the other thing is that here on planet Earth, we have a bunch of pesticides to kill off or to minimize the quantity of insects and bugs and stuff like that. But if humanity travels to a different planet, different a different universe, or different not a different universe, but a different colony or whatever. I don't know, like a different I don't, just a different planet. You know, the things that that can be taken over there, and the space and stuff like that would be limited. So only a certain amount of chemicals and stuff like that, pesticides, would be allowed into the rocket or spaceship, or rockets or spaceships, depending on how many are sent over there. But either way, I mean, you guys could just imagine how it would be like. And there's a bunch of movies, I think, out there where, you know, people enter like a different planet, and you know, they think that you know, people's logic, people's reasoning and thinking is that it will be the same like here on planet Earth. But you know, back in the day, people would die from all sorts of animal attacks, including bears, grizzly bears, wolves and coyotes, and werewolves, pigs, hogs, you know, just about everything would be a threat and a danger to humans out there. Even the waters will be so infested with dolphins and sharks and hammerhead sharks, sea lions and piranhas, and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, these animals will just be everywhere, and one wrong step could potentially kill people as well. You know, here on planet Earth, there's restricted areas that people can't go into because that specific environment produces some type of toxic gas. They produce like toxic gases that kill people. So if you people think that you guys can go over there and just land wherever you want without first investigating and researching, you guys could, you know, fall into a death trap. So, you know, I think AI technology could really map out the world first and the terrain, and looking for hazardous places within the planet, and also providing data regarding what type of animals will be where, specifically where, within the planet, so that people could be made aware of this information and use it to their advantage. So anyways, I was kind of thinking about this idea, and I was thinking, it would be great if someone actually created a documentary regarding this whole idea of people colonizing another similar planet like planet Earth. And I was kind of thinking, where it would show these type of things that I'm talking about. And it's kind of like watching a shark movie where people start getting eaten by sharks, or sharks attack their boats, or people are on a life raft and eventually sharks are attacking them and stuff of that nature, and alligators and bears and all the animals you people can think of. It just wouldn't be a fun place to be at. Honestly, it wouldn't. A lot of you people think that it would be, because you people think about planet Earth. But you guys have to remember that we've been here for a very long time, and there has been a lot of people who have killed off a lot of animals, so that all of us could be somewhat comfortable, and so that we could feel like we are in good hands, and protected from wild animals. So the first thing I can think is rock ages mammoths, and I think there are Indians with spears. So I'm trying to look at this type of thing right here. So I'm pretty sure you people know what I'm referring to. There's these people attacking these mammoths, and maybe because they were killing them off, they were killing people off. Maybe they were very vicious and dangerous, and destroying their houses. Like, who knows what the hell they were up to and what they were doing. But it must have been very hard for these people back in the day. So you people could just imagine what you people will be faced with, and what you people will encounter out there. So, kind of, bringing all this information to mind, and maybe even theorizing on the best approach to colonize a planet, similar to planet Earth. My like hypothesis would be to like I shared earlier, is colonizing, or landing on an area similar to Antarctica, which is right behind me. Antarctica, right here. Antarctica on my planet, on this map behind me. Just because the chances of animals being out there would be more reduced and restricted because of the harsh environment conditions. But you guys could just imagine how many penguins will be out there, and who knows what else is out there. So it would be very dangerous. It wouldn't be like a lot of us think. So like I've looked at some pictures of let's just type it in, ISS sending rockets to another Earth-like planet. And look at it right here. Could we move to another planet with a spaceship like this? So people are actually thinking about stuff like this, and they're thinking about sending rockets to another planet and stuff like that. But again, people, you guys have to think about what I'm referring to. And this rocket would eventually be everyone's like safe zone, where they would most likely stay in there. Like they will stay in there. Just because just out of fear. These people will be terrified to go outside. Like it wouldn't even be fun. Plus, there's no airplanes, there's no vehicles, no bicycles, no roads, no hiking trails. Everything would just be dangerous and hazardous. Even if you guys take weapons, the weapons will only do so much. And eventually you people will run out of ammo. But you people will have the knowledge of how to harvest food and how to stay alive. But just to get out of that spaceship, it could take years, even upon landing. And that's if you people land safely. Okay, so there's a lot of things to consider. And just the other day, I was watching another documentary of Apollo 18, and it was kind of weird because in this movie or this documentary, people went to the moon, and then there was like a spider that went into the astronauts' spacesuits, and the spider went into the astronaut's rib cage inside of his stomach while he was alive, and he was just in pain, and he was shouting, "Get it out of me, get it out of me." And there was another astronaut, and I think he was able to get the spider out of him. But this guy was he got a mad infection. He got a horrible infection, and it was spreading rapidly, very very rapidly. And this other astronaut wanted to come back home, but the Space Command Center was like, we can't risk you coming back because you may be contaminated. And they were like, but we're going to tell your family that you died as a hero, and that you served your country or whatever. You served your country well. So he was trying to come back, but they were like, stand down. You can't come in. We can't. You can't come back. We can't risk you coming back because of the possibility of a virus. Some type of contamination. So for that reason, they just left him out there, basically. But he was able to get on a rocket and come back to Earth. But upon entering planet Earth's atmosphere, they had the military, the Coast Guard or the Navy shoot him down. They had him shot down, so he died. So there's a lot of things to consider and to take into consideration. A lot of people think that they're just gonna go out there and everything's going to be okay. But you people need to really think about the dangers and the contamination, the full concentration of animals and everything, and everything is so concentrated. When it comes to animals, when it comes down to animals and insects and stuff like that, because there is no roads out there. Here in the United States of America, there's roads everywhere. There's roadkills everywhere. So, there's a lot of that stuff happening here, but not over there. Over here, vehicles are driving around all the time. They're killing all kinds of insects, just driving around because they're crashing into the windshields of vehicles, and a lot of stuff is just gone. It's dying every single day, every single hour, 24/7, night and day, night and day. Vehicles are passing by national forests, in the cities and everywhere. So, what's it called? So out here, the bug population and all that has been drastically reduced. But out there, good luck. Good luck surviving out there. So you people have to think about it like on a smarter level. You guys are humanity is on top of the food chain. So we need to act like it, and we need to think about the dangers. And the only chances of survival will most likely be, out there, like in the snow somewhere, even though it's super cold and stuff like that. But if you people have nuclear fusion or whatever, what is it called? Nuclear fusion? Yeah, something like that, right? That energy that's being produced will be enough to keep the spaceship nice and warm 24/7. But who knows what else is out there? And one thing that I was kind of thinking is that it would be great to have some type of rovers, like the Land Rover, a Land Rover that was sent to planet Mars, or Curiosity that was also sent to planet Mars, and stuff of that nature, so that it could take photographs or videos of rare animals and insects, and then studying them, just like people do here on planet Earth when they create a documentary about any specific type of animal, whether it's wolves or cats or bobcats or mountain goats or horses or cows. These are going to be all wild animals without any medical treatment, without any human interaction whatsoever. They don't have any human interaction, and they probably never encountered human interaction. So these animals are really going to be freaked the fuck out. They're going to be afraid. So yeah, I just wanted to record this video to talk about that, because I was thinking about it the other day, and it may not seem like much, But I think someone could really create a full-blown documentary about this stuff, and I think a full-blown movie could be created, honestly. Because I was watching the National Geographic channel like a few days ago, and there was a bunch of snakes that were going after rabbits, white rabbits, and there was literally like 20 or 50 different snakes, and they were all running after the rabbits. And I even was able to like witness, through the documentary, some of the snakes attacking each other, thinking it was the rabbits, because the rabbit was at close range. They were about to attack it, but they began attacking each other, and they were twisting and turning, and they were like, trying to suffocate the rabbits. But little did they know little did they know it wasn't the rabbit, it was the snakes. It was themselves attacking themselves. It was the snakes attacking each other, themselves. So if anyone were to walk out there in a different planet, most likely stuff like that would happen as well. So if you guys could create some type of like a mixture of people getting attacked by anacondas and scorpions and gorillas and big spiders and stuff like that, birds, leopards, tigers and stuff like that, I think it would make the movie super cool. Kind of like Tarzan, something that's forest, that involves the forest, and stuff like that. So it would involve the forest, and a bunch of animals, and obviously the stars and the sun and everything would be different. And who knows what else, but anyways, so I was thinking that if in the future you guys do colonize a planet, I would encourage all of you to capture some of these animals, or have AI technology do it for us without actually arriving there ourselves, and having AI technology study these animals, because in doing so we could actually come up with newer inventions, because there's a bunch of inventions out there in the universe that were inspired by animals. So if you people discover a new type of animal that has been extinct here on planet Earth, you guys can have AI technology study it, and humanity can study it as well, and possibly come up with some inventions. Just like a good example is like the flying squirrel. The flying squirrel. I don't know how to spell it. but it's an animal. No, not a squirrel. Like an actual animal squirrel. Squirrel. I don't know how to spell it. Oh, this guy right here. Squirrel. Squirrel. Not squirrel. 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 This one right here. So this idea inspired people to, to do that hang gliding stuff. I think it's hang gliding, but there's a lot of people that do this for a living as a sport now. The flying squirrel invention for people. Let me see. Yeah, right here. So it's called the wingsuit flying. Wikipedia. It says this flying squirrel drone can break in mid-air and outsmart obstacles. Okay, so there's a lot of inventions that could come from observing animals. Another one is the suction cups. Suction cups, I believe, were inspired by octopuses. By the octopuses and their, I don't know what these things are called, but yeah, that's how pretty much they came out with suction cups. And they look similar too. Yep. Very, very similar suction cups. Like this one. These right here. And there's a bunch of inventions now. There's toys and a bunch of other stuff. What else is a good one? I don't know. There's just so much stuff, so much stuff. But I think you guys get the idea. Anyways, I'm going to end this video and go to bed. I have work tomorrow in the morning, so I'm going to end this video. Thank you all for watching, and God bless.